Ah, Paris. They call it the City of Light. But when you're traveling with family, it's a city of a million different moments. We came to Paris for spring break, looking for the classic postcard moments and a pivot from our go-to beach spots. It's iconic and frequently ranked the top travel destination in the world. But is it actually manageable for a family and worth so much planning and logistics compared to other places? What we found were the quiet corners, the long walks, and the realization that sometimes the best way to see the world is to change your pace. Is Paris actually the perfect family getaway? Let's find out. This was our week in Paris. To really understand Paris, you have to look at the Seine. This river is the heart of the city, splitting it in two, carving a path right past its most legendary history. Honestly, it's like an open-air museum where the city just comes alive. We wanted to get our bearings early, so we booked a guided river cruise. It's one thing to see the Eiffel Tower or Notre Dame from the crowded streets, but seeing them from the water while a local guide breaks down the history gives you a completely different perspective. If you're traveling with family, this is the ultimate low-stress way to take in the major sights, all while recovering from a red-eye flight. But as much as we loved the boat, the real magic happened when we just hung out along the banks. The riverside paths are completely closed to cars, making it a perfect spot to log a run, take a slow afternoon walk, or do what we did best, grab some local ice cream, sit on some ancient stone steps, and just have a moment with the family. It's exactly the kind of thing that makes a trip feel like an actual vacation. You can't talk about Paris without talking about the Iron Lady itself. The Eiffel Tower is the most visited paid monument in the world. And if you don't want to spend half your vacation standing in a security line with your family, preparation is everything. We booked our tickets the earliest you can, 60 days in advance on the official site. This is rule number 1 for keeping the trip stress-free. When booking, you have to choose your tier, and it basically breaks down how high you want to go and how hard you want to work. For our trip, we decided to go all the way to the summit. Why come all the way here and not go to the very top? It's the highest observation deck in the European Union at 276 meters, or just over 900 feet. To get up here, you take a separate glass elevator from the second floor. Stepping out into that top deck, looking down at the tiny loop of the Seine we had just cruised on earlier, makes the crowds and the planning entirely worth it. On the way down, we opted to save time waiting for elevators and took the stairs down from the second level. It was the right play and gave a unique perspective from inside the tower. Going up the tower is a must, but chasing it from the ground is where Paris truly comes alive. Over our time there, it became our ultimate compass, catching a glimpse of it all lit up at night, between buildings or down a cobblestone street. And honestly, every single time it popped into view, the kids would stop and say, "I can't believe we're actually here." After a few days in the city, it was time for a major shift in scenery. We hopped on the TGV train out of Paris, and in just under 2 hours, we arrived in the Alsace region, a pocket of France that feels like it was lifted straight out of a fairy tale. In fact, it's rumored that these medieval towns were the actual inspiration for the village in Beauty and the Beast, and since our daughter had just starred as Belle in her high school musical, we knew this excursion was a must-do. Our first stop was Strasbourg. From there, we picked up a rental car and headed up into the Vosges Mountains to explore a castle, a chateau technically. This medieval fortress sits high above the valley. Walking through the stone courtyards and looking out over the plains below gives you a massive sense of history. Next, we drove south to Eguisheim. This tiny village is uniquely built in concentric circles around a central castle. It's incredibly tight, colorful, and completely closed to traffic. Walking down these cobblestone lanes feels like stepping back into the 16th century. It's here that we had the best macaroons ever. We wrapped up our road trip by checking into the village of Riquewihr for the night. Our host, Frederic, helped us get to our place and settle in. And despite neither of us speaking each other's language, he was one of the nicest humans we've ever met. Once the day trippers head home and the street lamps turn on, the entire village takes on a completely different magic. Staying overnight in these historic towns is the ultimate way to slow down the travel clock and just absorb the culture. This was easily one of our favorite days of the trip. Mastering Paris means mastering the art of moving. We used planes, trains, and automobiles, but most of our trip was fueled by a serious amount of walking. However, the real daily commute was underground. The Paris Metro has a learning curve, but figuring out the line numbers and transfers became a daily adventure we tackled as a family. What could have been a chore turned into a highlight. There's nothing quite like the win of navigating a foreign system together. Stepping off the platform and popping out of the stairs right into a brand new neighborhood is the ultimate way to truly feel connected to the city. So many memories are made in between some of the planned stops. We still laugh about Ethan scaring this pigeon into an innocent onlooker. But that's the thing about travel. The best memories rarely happen at the landmarks. They often happen in between, just trying to get from point A to point B. For a completely different change of pace, we went 20 meters underground to explore the darker side of Paris. The Catacombs hold the final resting place of over 6 million people, and because they limit capacity to just 200 visitors at a time, getting in takes a bit of strategy. Tickets cost €31 for adults, which includes an excellent audio tour, and €15 for kids. But here's the catch. You can only book them online exactly 7 days in advance, down to the specific hour. It's quirky, dark, and an absolutely unforgettable detour from the busy city above. Getting to Montmartre meant a longer metro ride, but it was a total can't miss. Right outside the station, we stopped at the Wall of Love, a massive piece of art featuring the word love written over 300 times in different languages. It instantly sets the artistic tone for the neighborhood. From there, you head up winding streets to the Basilica of Sacré-Cœur at the summit. Quick tip: if you want a view without the crowds, check the link I left in the comments. Entering the church is free and amazing, but the real insider move is paying a small fee to climb the 300 steep steps up into the basilica's dome. You enter down some stairs to the left of the church, and stepping onto that balcony gives you a panoramic view of Paris that easily rivals the Eiffel Tower. But if you travel with teenagers, a quiet afternoon can turn into a sporting event at any moment. After riding the iconic trolley up the hill, Ethan decided to later race it on foot up the massive outdoor stairs. He actually pulled off the win. Between the history, the epic views, and those unscripted, high-energy family challenges, Montmartre was an unforgettable part of our itinerary. There is no denying that Paris is one of the greatest food destinations on the planet, but full disclosure, we don't consider ourselves foodies, and we didn't indulge in any fancy white tablecloth fine dining on this trip. Instead, our Parisian food tour was fueled by the everyday classics: pastries, warm crepes, and a mountain of simple ham and butter sandwiches straight from the local bakeries. We also made a pit stop at Odette, this tiny iconic shop near the river that specializes entirely in gourmet cream puffs. They are bite-sized perfection and a total must-try if you're exploring near Notre Dame. We did make one major exception and grabbed a table at Pink Mama, this stunning multi-story Italian spot covered in plants and vintage art. It's a cool vibe, and the food lived up to the hype. But mostly, we kept it simple, casual, and on the go. And of course, no matter how much walking we logged, we always found room for the real MVP of the trip, a ridiculous amount of local gelato. You don't need a reservation to eat like royalty here. Sometimes the best flavor of the city is found right on the sidewalk. Our trip to the Arc de Triomphe turned into a full-on race against the clock. We were sprinting across Paris for one specific reason. We wanted to reach the rooftop observation deck, right on the hour, perfectly timed to watch the Eiffel Tower sparkle. Quick tip if you're coming with family: youth get a discount here, but don't make the mistake we did. Make sure to bring your kids physical passports to prove their age, or you'll end up paying full adult price for everyone. After powering up 284 spiral steps, we made it to the top with seconds to spare. Seeing the twinkling lights of the Eiffel Tower stretching over the Paris skyline from the Arc was absolute magic. It takes a little extra hustle and a bit of stair cardio, but catching the sparkle from up here is easily one of the most iconic viewpoints in the entire city. It's easy to hop on social media before a trip and feel this massive pressure to hit every single famous landmark eat at all the trendy spots, and follow someone else's exact itinerary. But the best thing we did on this trip was simply moving at our own pace. For us, that meant building our mornings around my son's long-distance training runs, forcing us to fight jet lag, being up early, then bringing pastries back to the rest of the family after the run. Some parts of our trip were high energy and hectic. Others were completely chill. But at the end of the day, you don't need to vacation the way anyone else vacations. Take what inspires you, leave the rest, and make the trip uniquely your own. Thanks for watching.